If you've ever scrolled through used car listings and noticed a BMW selling for the same price as an old Honda Civic, you probably had the same thought most people do. Why are used BMWs so cheap? On the surface, it doesn't add up. These are premium vehicles full of advanced technology, luxurious interiors, sporty handling, and that iconic German engineering. Yet a 5-year-old BMW often sells for half or even a third of its original sticker price. It sounds like a great deal, but the truth is, there's a lot going on under the hood, literally and figuratively, that explains why the prices drop so dramatically. Let's start with the biggest factor: depreciation. BMWs, like many luxury cars, lose value fast. The moment they're driven off the lot, they take a hit. But while all new cars depreciate to some extent, BMWs tend to drop even faster. In just 5 years, a BMW can lose 60 to 70% of its original value. That's massive. A car that was once worth $60,000 might be going for under 25 grand just a few years later. Part of this comes down to how these cars are sold. A large number of new BMWs are leased, not purchased outright. Leasing is incredibly common in the luxury segment, and when those leases end after 2 or 3 years, those cars flood the used market. It's basic supply and demand. With so many gently used BMWs returning to dealers, prices drop to remain competitive. On top of that, luxury car buyers often want the latest model: new tech, new styling, new features. That means demand for older models softens quickly. So between high turnover, constant innovation, and tons of returned leased vehicles, you end up with a lot of BMWs on the used market and not enough people eager to buy them. That drives prices down even further. Now let's talk about something that really scares off potential buyers: maintenance. BMWs are complex machines. They're designed for performance, not simplicity, and that means when something goes wrong, it's rarely a cheap or easy fix. Even basic maintenance tasks can be expensive. An oil change that might cost $50 on a Honda could cost over $200 at a BMW dealership. Brake pads, tires, batteries, fluids, everything is more expensive, both in parts and labor. And then there are the repairs. As these vehicles age, they develop issues: oil leaks, electronic glitches, faulty sensors, suspension problems. And those problems can be tricky to diagnose and expensive to fix. BMW engines are tightly engineered, which means accessing components often requires removing other parts. That means higher labor costs. And forget about doing it all at a local shop for cheap. Many independent mechanics don't even want to touch them. Specialized tools, diagnostic software, and experience with German engineering are often required, which limits your repair options and usually pushes you toward a dealership or a BMW specialist. Once the warranty is up, the cost of ownership climbs steeply. That's a big reason why used BMWs lose value so fast. Owners know that the real cost of a used BMW starts after they buy it. The price to drive is low, but the price to maintain is high. Out-of-warranty repairs are where the financial pain really begins. And it's not just about 1 or 2 expensive issues. The reality is that older BMWs tend to have a series of small and medium-sized problems that add up quickly. A failed water pump, a leaking valve cover, a malfunctioning iDrive system, all common issues, and none of them are cheap. One repair might not be a deal breaker, but stack them up and suddenly that great deal on a used BMW doesn't look so great anymore. And then there's reliability. Let's be honest, BMW doesn't have the same reputation for long-term durability that brands like Toyota or Honda do. While BMWs are built to perform, they're not necessarily built to last 200,000 miles with minimal maintenance. Some of them can make it that far, sure, but it takes dedication, money, and usually a good amount of luck. Certain models in particular are known for specific problems. The twin-turbo V8 engines are notorious for oil leaks and carbon buildup. Older 7 Series models are infamous for electrical nightmares and suspension failures. Even the beloved 3 Series, often considered BMW's most reliable line, has had its share of issues. Things like water pump failures, thermostat issues, and worn-out bushings. These reputations hurt resale value. When buyers know that a particular engine or model year is prone to problems, demand drops. And when demand drops, so do prices. It becomes a cycle. Cheap prices attract budget-conscious buyers who may not keep up with maintenance, which leads to more unreliable examples on the road, which leads to even more hesitation in the market. It's also worth considering that BMWs are designed with driving performance in mind. That sounds like a good thing. And it is, but it comes at a cost. The engineering is focused on sharp handling, responsive steering, and that satisfying feel behind the wheel. But to achieve that, BMWs use more complex components, lightweight materials, and tighter tolerances. Over time, those design choices mean more wear and tear, more parts that need replacement, and more things that can go wrong. In contrast, cars like the Toyota Camry or the Honda Accord are designed for longevity and simplicity. They're not exciting, but they're dependable, affordable, and easy to work on. That's why a high-mileage Camry might still be valued higher than a BMW with similar mileage. It's less risky. Speaking of risk, another factor that plays into the low price of used BMWs is buyer psychology. A lot of people are just afraid of owning one. It's not that they hate BMWs. It's that they've heard the stories, the forums full of frustrated owners, the YouTube videos breaking down catastrophic repair bills, the memes about check engine lights always being on. That fear plays into the market. When people hesitate to buy something, the only way to convince them is to lower the price. It's not necessarily that the car is bad, but the perception of high maintenance costs and unreliability affects what buyers are willing to pay. Then there's the fact that the used car market is often focused on practicality. Most used car buyers are looking for dependable daily drivers. They want low ownership costs, good gas mileage, and cars that start every morning without drama. A used BMW might be fun, but it's not always seen as practical, especially when repairs can cost thousands and insurance tends to be higher. For a lot of people, it's just not worth the risk. And let's not forget, BMWs also require premium gas. That's an added expense every time you fill up. Add that to higher insurance, higher maintenance, and potentially higher registration fees, depending on where you live, and you can see why the total cost of ownership might turn people away. That keeps demand lower and once again leads to lower resale value. Now, to be fair, not every used BMW is a bad idea. There are plenty of success stories. Some models and engines are more reliable than others. The inline-six engines, for example, tend to be stronger and more predictable than some of the turbocharged four-cylinders or V8s. If you find a car with full service records, low mileage, and signs of careful ownership, it could be a great deal, especially if you're a car enthusiast who understands what you're getting into. Some owners do their own maintenance. They buy parts online, use forums for DIY guidance, and keep their cars running without spending a fortune. For those people, a used BMW can be a gateway into affordable luxury and sporty driving. But for the average driver who wants to just turn the key and go, a used BMW might not be the best choice. The important thing is knowing what you're buying. If you go into it expecting perfection, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if you understand the risks and plan ahead, that low price can actually make sense. So the next time you see a 5-year-old BMW with a surprisingly low price tag, you'll know why. It's not a scam, it's not magic. It's economics, engineering, and expectations all rolled into one.